Hari Om and welcome to all the divine Atma Jyotis. Let us continue our Bhaja Govindam contemplation. So today it is 24, 25 and 26. That's the focus. Who would like to begin? Shubhaji, would you like to?
Here, Shankaracharya is asking us to focus on ourself. Why are you looking everywhere? Whereas the self is, the God is nothing but your own self. He is within you, is what he is drawing our attention on. So look at the self in all things. Like we all know that ignorance is what causes all the differences in this world. So he's asking us to get out of that ignorance and focus on ourselves.
So here, angry with whom?
Yeah, please, yeah.
Angry with your own self. You will be angry, greedy. It's there in the 26th Shloka. All that causes the ignorance. So it's all interconnected. 26 says, no, greed.
No, so I'm just trying to understand. Who gets angry with whom?
We are always angry, no? When we don't get what we want. When people don't listen to what we want. So he says, don't get angry. When you identify everything is your own self, then automatically you won't get angry. That's my understanding. I may be wrong also.
Does that satisfy, Sarvanji?
Yeah. In that case, you could have dropped that with me. If that is exactly what the translation. You could have said like, when do you get angry? But here, since he said like with me, I was trying to figure out. Is he telling that person who is get angry with him, with Shankaraji? He is talking to the other old man.
Correct.
You see that old man getting angry with him.
Yeah, that seems to be the case here. So even when someone is teaching, there is a good chance that when the teaching is not lining up with my own preconceived notions, so he is essentially saying there is but one God. However, in your and my own ignorance, without seeing, I may say, okay, that is not the case. My truth versus your truth, or my God versus your God. Yeah.
It is the level of understanding that causes the difference. Right?
Correct. And that is what causes, like how Shubhaji pointed, it is that ignorance that causes the anger. Fundamentally, the cause of anger is ignorance.
Ignorance.
So it is one ring to rule the whole, no? The Lord of the Rings. So
I have not seen the whole thing, or I have not figured out that story. It's way too complex for me.
It's out of.
Anyway, so the thing is, there is supposedly there is this one ring which will make you the most powerful. That will help you to rule over the entire that imaginary world that Tolkien has created.
Just like Shamantakamani.
So those who possess it, supposedly will become very powerful, right? So like that, here the great masters have shown us there is only one fundamental root of all the problems: anger, worry, stress, sadness, depression, whatever. And that is self-ignorance. Avidya.
That's right.
Okay, so shall we move to the next one? Or why don't we do this way? Yeah, why don't the others
Yeah.
also share?
Yeah, I think maybe since we are here. Maybe I'll continue because yesterday I was just while I was in the taxi, I was looking at things and I was again recollecting the scene is the same for adult and a child. If the scene is creating the disturbance or anger, it should evoke the same response in both adult and the child. While an adult reacts while a child just sees. That means it's not the outside one that is actually causing. It is the interpretation of what is being seen or heard by the mind that is causing. Right. So it is all to do with not the people or the things outside that I can blame. It is so I need to go and introspect why did that evoke disturbance. Right? While for a child, maybe it is because the mind is not formed yet. The child did not get angry or react. Right? It is that adult in between the child and I guess maybe the child and the jnani who's getting angry, upset with the things, which almost I do go through daily, but somehow these kind of teachings keep reminding me to not to see the difference. Right? It's easy that if someone is able to understand or relate to what I'm saying, I can go with them. But if they don't listen, if they keep going to their ways, which if I know that it is not the right, then it sometimes it creates that that anger. So like either you listen, right, and at that time it's very hard to see beyond that form, that body mind, to see that no, in him also there is the same Brahman. But I'm getting stuck with his form because I'm interacting with his. The anger is always with that form, with the body mind, not because the one behind the body mind is always just at rest, right? The sun is not doing anything other than shining. I cannot get. Nobody is actually reacting with the sun. Rather, I'm only reacting with the elements that are coming alive through the sun's rays or power. Right? Yeah. So it is always the interaction with that. Even forget body. It's the mind. That's the whole world game is. The guru is trying to teach the mind of the disciple. It's not the guru is seeing everyone as I'm sure as same Brahman, but the teaching is whom to again mind is mind is also jada. It is the one who is operating with the mind. Is to whom the teaching is.
So you're saying the cause of the anger is the focus on the outer rather than on the inner. Is that what you are pointing at?
Yeah.
And you are also saying that during transactions, though the jnana that outer is fleeting is there, but still it brings out the feeling of anger.
Yes.
Okay. Now the question is a feeling of anger something to be eradicated? What is essential here? Is the anger to be dropped, or what is the core issue that you're bringing up? What is the correction needed that you feel here?
Yeah. That's where I go back to the first point, that I cannot, the frustration or anger is because I'm trying to change the outer. But what I need to focus is the outer it's not real. So I have to focus on the inner, which is the only thing that needs to be corrected, because the whole world is with the mind.
Okay. Now, when you say that it is the inner that needs to be corrected, in this particular situation, I'm assuming there is you and there is someone else. And it is that interaction that is causing this sensation or this feeling of anger within you.
Yes.
Now, who needs to be corrected in your viewpoint here?
Who is that is me as Jiva who's operating with the mind. Because the Atman is just their observer, right? And it is the world that is forming in the mind, and the way it is being interpreted is what needs to be corrected.
Okay. Now, what is
sometimes this works, sometimes I agree this is not, also it doesn't work. But let's continue, because if it is just a discussion, I can say that, okay, I'm trying to say that you are getting angry for no reason. What you are seeing is not real. Things are changing. It's very easy. But let's say if someone is hurting, I have to go and physically stop or correct. In which case, it looks like I'm trying to give reality to what I'm seeing. So there are two scenarios I'm bringing.
Okay, so what you said as give reality, see, in any situation, there is a observable change, which is what you call as action. If someone comes and asks you, what's your name? You have to respond. But just because inherently you are the witness, it doesn't mean that you simply keep quiet, right? Depending upon the situation, you will have to act. So what is that correction that you feel is needed? Is the correction needed in the action, which means that is there a thinking that you feel is incorrect in that particular situation in how you are acting? Is that what you feel you need to correct? If so, what is the correction you feel is needed?
Yeah, the one where it doesn't evoke anger. I think that I'm leaving for now. I'm focusing more on the situation where I am as a Jivatma, it's interacting, and there is a situation that evokes anger.
Okay. Now, when you say I as a Jivatma, you already are taking a particular, say, role. You are calling yourself a Jivatma. Which means that you also have a clarity of that, you are falsely taking that role. As at a jnana level, right? You already are aware. That is why you are able to articulate as a Jivatma. So now that is one thing. maybe let's say as a father, as a husband, as a boss, as a subordinate, as a somebody, right? That is the situation here. Now, in that situation, let's say some transaction is happening. Let's assume, you have given some work and your subordinate hasn't done it completely or as expected. Now, what are the choices in front of you in order to communicate that? One choice would be simply say, okay, it is not done. Another choice could be to raise your voice and say the same thing. The third one could be to kind of escalate. Now, which action route you take depends upon whatever the situation. Because only you would be aware of the situation. And what is the outcome that you are expecting or you are planning from the situation, is it not? As a, let's assume, project lead, you have to create certain outcome, which is what the organization is paying you for. In that role, if your subordinate has not completed some work as maybe, let's assume, promised, then you have to look at what action will enable it to happen, and at the same time that that mistake doesn't repeat. So you have various tools in front of you. In that very conscious way of applying, anger is a tool. What do we mean by anger here? Let's understand. See, the anger, there are various levels to the anger. There's an expression of anger. Most often we attribute anger to outward expression. But how is it internally? Does it leave impression? Does it make that individual feel suffocated, suffering post that incident? What is the impact of that? If there is no impact, like in a drama, you have to emote. You may have to get sad. You may have to get angry. You may have to show lust. You may have to, right? In the drama, all these emotions have to be brought out. The only key difference is, are you bringing out the emotion with clear, conscious understanding of, if I apply this tool at this point of time, this is the outcome. So therefore, let me apply.
Can you really because usually, though, when I'm not in the situation, I can say that I'm playing that role. But when I'm in the role, I'm fully into it. I'm not separate at all in life. So, and the anger, the way it comes is, you are at a normal state, and then the interactions happen, and then it naturally comes, and you are fully into it, into that anger, and later on, that with time you come back, and it's very difficult at that time to see that why get angry. He's also Brahman. It doesn't happen, right? Right. So
That's all correct. That's a postmortem. We are not talking about postmortem. We are talking about how can we handle during that difference. During that difference. So during that difference, what is happening? You just reflect on what you said. During that interaction, naturally anger comes.
Yes.
So there is an assumption that anger is natural. Okay, so let's examine that very notion. What is the cause of anger? Anger means what? Anger means I and you are not agreeing on something.
Yes.
Means what? I have a certain viewpoint that I feel is correct or cannot be modified. I am unwilling to modify. Perfectly okay. There's nothing wrong. However, I want other also to see this way only. So anger to me in that situation is an indication that it's like in mechanical design, when two parts rub, then there is a likelihood of heat.
Yeah.
Okay, it means that now I need to bring lubricant. Then even when the rubbing is happening, the possibility of so much of heat goes away. So that's the indication to me, anger at a first level. Then deeply, it's a indication to me that what is making me feel angry? What is making me feel angry? Of course, the action.
Yes.
How can I ever be angry with myself? So with that truth, I come to my natural state. But during that interaction,
yes,
what is causing that heat?
difference.
There is a difference. Now, how do I resolve the difference? For a moment, I can even say, okay, could it be that I am communicating only one way? And could it be that it could be communicated in some other way, which will help to resonate with this individual? Most often, when you and I are interacting, if I make statements more, and if I ask less questions, then there is a possibility of friction. Because statements already have kind of boundaries, no? Statements means opinion. Questions means inquiry. So the interaction could also turn into an inquiry-based discussion. As an example, so something did not happen. Okay, this did not happen. It was promised to be done by this time. Is one way of stating. The other way of stating could be, okay, so it was planned to be done. It hasn't happened. What led to not happening? How come it is not yet complete? What happened? So the second approach has an inquiry mindset. It is prompting a discussion, is it not? So like that, it is in the situational way of handling, it's a practice. There is no easy escape from that. The more
there that Dvaitam is clear. That's why I said me and the other is like, and later I say that okay, it is the ignorance that is causing him to do this way or say what he's saying. Hopefully that he will get the knowledge, right? That only the wish or prayer is left later, because I know why I'm doing what I'm doing.
See,
and I cannot expect the other one to know that.
Me in that situation also, please see which me is praying for that other you. The boss me got angry. See, at that point in time, the father me is not angry. It's the boss me who's angry. The brother me is also quite calm. So which essentially means it is a false me who's trying to still feel nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because the brother me says, hey, I never got into this altercation. I am okay.
Yeah.
The brother me is okay. The boss has got upset. So you have not got upset. The role in you, which is the jiva atma. So,
but Vijayji, like in a day, mostly I'm playing the roles. From the time I get up to the time I go to bed, I'm just playing the roles continuously. So, though from you have asked that question, like is this knowledge? What is this knowledge for the Atma Jyoti?
Yeah,
I am clear. Which is like, now let me put that I is that the Atma, I as Atma is clear. Okay, I have no questions, no challenges. But then this body mind is playing some role all the time. From the time body is awake till the time body is going to sleep. Okay, then can I say that let this body go through whatever it goes through, because it is anyway false.
What else you think you can do? See, it is like, you wear a shirt and the shirt is smelling. Somebody says, what do? You remove it. If you have another shirt. If you don't have another shirt and, the situation is such that you cannot remove it, you say, sorry, I cannot remove. Or you simply tell the other person, get lost, I will not remove. Each is a valid response.
Yeah.
Right? So it is the involvement in a situation is not the issue. It is the post-mortem.
Okay.
I
post-mortem right now we are I'm clear from our jnana that
So I shouldn't have done it. I could have done differently. Great. In a situation, it's like a cricket match. India lost the finals. So now we have, we can keep cribbing, or we can simply say, okay, what led to that failure and how it could be corrected. There is always a next game to be played. As simple as that. Learn from the mistake and improve on the winning. So therefore, there is no other practical way.
That is also for the role.
That is at the end of the day, Brahman has no problem. Ego will never find freedom.
Yes. Yeah.
Or the false entity
so trying to teach the ego that there is no problem is like impossible because it's the death of ego is what the freedom is.
So therefore the clarity is, are you suffering? Are you having an issue?
Yeah, the ego is suffering. Let me put it there. The ego is suffering.
Who are you?
I am not the ego. I am the Atma, but the ego is suffering in the day-to-day rules.
When you say it is suffering, what do you mean by it is suffering? You are seeing some thought come and say that I got angry. You acknowledge. Then immediately, let's assume your daughter calls, you will not take the same whatever that interaction ego.
A different role then. Yeah.
Yeah. So now that scene came and went. You saw that scene. So where is the issue then?
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's why I said it's the correction internal that don't live with that anger for longer than that incident. The problem starts when I carry that anger for long. The incident happened, the scene went, but I carry that anger for the next scenes.
That is where the vasana kshaya plays a role. See, at the end of the day, that anger is because of a certain deeply held notion about something. As a let's assume to make the point, an extreme example, somebody comes and says, chanting is nonsense. It doesn't bring any transformation at all. Simply somebody has done it for the sake of livelihood. So now let's say somebody has that statement. Somebody has that belief. Now, as a practitioner of the value of the chanting, you can clearly see that that may not be correct notion. Now, let's assume, you engage in a conversation. Have you practiced? That fellow says, hey, who gets into all this hankam bankam? I don't have time. I know. So, now you have choices. Do you want to still engage? Then why are you engaging? Why is it important for me to prove that chanting works? Is it really important? Who is that?
Do I have to prove him?
Do
I have to prove him?
Yeah. Right? So now all these are the choices in front of me. In a situation, maybe with your child comes. Now, will you let your child, make such statement and walk away?
There you will definitely hold and try to prove.
You will want to prove. Now, how you prove is where the beauty is, or is where the possibility is. Now, immediately say, no, come here. I want to have a discussion with you right now. Come here. The child will also get, diffident.
If it's like, no, I am busy.
No, I have something else. No, you got in lecture mode. Oh, okay. All that.
Yes, you got into the lecture mode is the right response.
So, if a small baby is making all, kind of a tantrum for, let's say, eating, the mother or the grandmother or somebody who's feeding, they have various methods, no? They don't beat the child. That is where, they take the child to at least in our times, nowadays it is not even possible, would take the child to the street, show the dog, show the cat, show the moon. And then
now all the street cat moon has come into the app. So it's only smartphone.
Nowadays, not even smartphone. They put them on a high chair, tie the child, turn on some video, and the child is okay. So the what is happening there? My own ability to see how to engage, because at the end of the day, in helping to feed the child, I am learning how to address my own vasanas and to be free of the vasana and to serve the need of the child. I have learned the greatest virtue, which is how to be patient and see which idea works. Oh, I know. This child, if I take this to that flower or that plant, always eats. See, look at the wisdom that develops in such a mother. You would have seen, no? Mothers know what works well for the child or for the husband. When to demand something. So how has that wisdom come? Because there is a greater appreciation of the so-called behavioral patterns, the boundaries. What can trigger this person? What can make this person feel calm? Knowing that, awareness of that is also important. It's like, when we build a solution, whether it's in kitchen or in office or wherever, what is biryani? It's essentially a combination of 6 tastes. What is chapati? Same 6 tastes. What is some other dish? Same 6 tastes. But what proportion? I, as a chef, also need to be aware. If I put this more, this is what will happen. That does not mean that, I don't know that these 6 are the ones which are making the taste happen. And it doesn't really matter. Even if I have put a little bit of a salt more and I have, somebody says it is not good, maybe somebody will come and say, wow, because they have used to more salt. So it's all about creating that dish. As long as the chef is not getting upset. Okay, the dog idea did not work. Let me see if the moon idea will work. Or moon idea also did not work. Let me see. So when I look at Prabhuji's teachings, no, it is fundamentally, that truth is the same. And he's communicating that in 100 different ways, in 1,000 different examples. Why? Because there are different mindsets that resonate to that different way of approach. Somebody came and asked, there's a wonderful story that he always tells. There is some Sufi saint, and he's invited by a community to talk about God. And he, the gathering, he asks, okay, so how many of you believe in God? Everybody raises hand. What is there for me to teach? He goes. Next time also they call. This time they have become clever. Now half of the people raise the hand. He says, okay, those who know, teach the other. Then third time, nobody raises the hand. He says, you have no trust. What is there to teach? So it's like that. What works in a given situation. That is where prajnanam Brahma. Awareness is Brahman. Awareness of situation. See, that is what essentially Shankaracharya ji is saying us here. That it is the same truth, but its manifestation, there are 9 forms of the ma. And each form likes a different food. Each form likes a different color. Each form likes a different taste. And the Navaratri, the festival celebration is to make each of that with the same dedication. To get connected with the Kali form as well as with the Shanta Durga form. So all the 9 forms, how to be with. And that is what brings out the wonderfulness of life. See, otherwise, what is there? Where is entertainment for you in life? So you ask Prabhuji, why are you doing the same thing again and again for so many years? What more to do? Entertainment.
Everyone is doing the same thing. Day in, day out. The mother is cooking day in, day out. The guy is going and working, trying to make things happen and going through the full drama of getting angry, upset, or happy. It's a repeat. I agree. I see at every level it's just a repeat, day in, day out, same thing.
So like that, as we practically keep doing, that inner stability. So earlier the inner stability wouldn't come because there was no jnana. At least now the lubricant has come. The jnana is the lubricant. And as the jnana, in different situations becomes, see, you would have seen maybe out of say 10 situations, 9 of them would have made you upset. Maybe now it's only 2 of them. So that's a dramatic improvement. So like that, it's a man is a constant work in progress. God does not need any work. So as God, you can continue to help your the man role, knowing fully well that you are not the man.
It's a tricky one. Yeah, even yesterday we had this, we were having a discussion where in Tamil Nadu, the chief minister's son, he's a minister, Udayanidhi Stalin. He has made a statement, right? Sanatana Dharmam has to be completely eradicated from the society. Okay, and there is one guy filed a case in the court, and they have started discussing. And this guy said, the opponent said, first of all, what do you know about it? He said, like, see, Sanatana Dharma only said there is varna, and that is how you are keeping people, dividing people by caste and like keeping them oppressed and all these things. Immediately, the ones who know about Sanatana Dharma get first like you get upset. What do you know about it, and like how are you able to talk about it? Then the anger comes. Right? And can I really make him understand? First, then the question is like, does he even want to understand? Right? You are trying to blame a system that has lived forever, and you are ruling a land, people who are following that system, and you are telling them that that system has to be removed. If the system has to be removed, what other system you want to bring? Are you aware of the other system? Then though that statement was made, but like within us, that agitation starts. The reason is like, oh, he's telling out of ignorance. But then out of ignorance, he's telling, but he is the one who's putting the loss of the land. And I have to live there. Then the ego in me stands up and said like, oh, first these people need to be eradicated.
So
Right?
that anger has to be channelized. So what it essentially means, it means that, see, now I can turn it into a positive action. What is that? At the end of the day, why is that ignorance there in the society? At an individual level, there is ignorance. Why is there ignorance at the individual level? Because
education.
the right kind of education hasn't happened. So
hasn't happened. Exactly.
I cannot go and fix everybody. I can fix myself, and around me, we can start working together. So like that, each one of us have to see what is that I and you can do in our own sphere of influence. So that's all that is there. The society will...
But I have to see...
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
No, the society will continue to have ignorance. Because ignorance...
what I wanted to say is like, I have to see even Brahman is in him also. Right? That is where I was telling that I need to also correct to see the Brahman in all, because now it becomes selective. Those who align with my understanding, my knowledge, my faith, it's very easy to see the oneness, right? Where there is difference is where like work in progress.
Yeah. So fundamentally, that source of difference is within me.
Me, yes.
Because I have now a strong viewpoint that this is it. And so which means that the boundary, whenever I have such strong feelings, it means that some role within me, some ego that I have developed is causing that sensation. If there is, see, the space has no issue with whatever form that is coming, because there is no limitness to the space. Whereas a room would have a problem. If I try to bring in a huge elephant, the room will crib, room will resist. Then there is a friction between the room and the elephant. Whereas the space, elephant, mountain, bacteria has no problem. Smallest of the small, largest of the large, space has no problem. So when there is such a sensation within me, it's an indication to me to reflect on who or what role within me got upset. which means that going back to our previous one of the discussion, there is an assumption somewhere within me that is making me to conclude this way. What is that assumption?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, kind of you always live with, start with assumptions. It's for a child, you start with, okay, you're going to be good, you're going to grow up this way, right? If I have a team, I want every engineer to be this way. There is assumption, expectation. You start with all this, right? And
maybe we can differentiate. Aim is okay. This is how it has to be. That is aim. That's not an assumption. However, when we are working towards that aim, okay, this is how it has to be. A future state. Aim is what? A future state. This is how it has to be. When we're working towards that future state, when something is not in line with that.
Yeah, the assumption is other will work with me. That is, if that doesn't happen, then
it's an opportunity for me to know if at all I really see that end state is the right one. Then I need to see whether there are alternate ways. And the only right one is towards truth. Whatever that end state that I'm talking about, so social activism, we have to remove all gender differences. And in the name of that, men are wearing women's dress, women are wearing men's dress, men are pretending like women, women are pretending like men. Is that what it really should be? As a if I am deeply impregnated into the idea that, gender inequality is very high, a lot of cases happen, very small, what may appear like a very simple misunderstanding can turn into gender issue. Okay, so they are, because the gender bias, it's very, very dominant in certain cultures and in certain places of work, right? Now, what is that? So we have to be able to sit together calmly, peacefully, examine. Can it happen in all situations? We have the luxury of the satsang where we can discuss, we can have differences in viewpoints and look at what is the common viewpoint that we want to share here. And why it is happening? It is because here our focus is on what is the truth.
Yes.
That is not changing between what you are saying and what I am saying.
Even though there can be differences, but we all assembled here with the same goal of figuring out the truth.
And that very purpose, okay, so maybe, okay, I can see what you are saying. Yeah, correct. So that willingness is within each one of us to shift from, my way of seeing to this way of seeing to this way of seeing. That shift is important to have a meaningful conversation. If not, it leads to conflict. In an ideal world, we don't need an army.
Yes.
So that is why, the 4 varnas. Kshatriyatva is needed in each one of us to protect certain aspects which are worthy of protection. So Kshatriyatva is at a individual level, at a society level also, you have to develop Kshatriyas. Brahmanatva is important. Within that individual, within every individual, all the 4 varnas have to be there. Then only the individual can have a meaningful, holistic life. Shudratva, Vaishyatva. So these four aspects have to be used in a balanced way. Then only that individual can move in life steadily, which is the message of Sri Krishna. And similarly, I need a societal system which also has all these four aspects. In something may be predominant. Otherwise, how will you protect? Because initially itself, the invading army will not sit and have a philosophical discussion with Shankaracharya, but they will want to acquire.
Yep, but yeah, as you said, as Shankaracharya is saying, there may be some good, or there will be good for me only, in the sense, any situation. So if at all there is some difference in state or anger is arising, then there is something to correct in me. I need to focus on that and see how I can handle the same situation next time with the knowledge.
Yeah. So something needs to be corrected within me essentially means that in the ultimate analysis, you're already that is complete.
Yes.
So you cannot improve the completeness. Okay. However, the way you are playing the role, that is what you are talking about. So the Vedantic approach is not telling you, correct that, correct this, I will give you tools to correct. No, it is simply helping you to realize your ultimate nature. Your ultimate nature means what? Your viṣṇutvam. And what is viṣṇutvam? That essence is the only thing that is common, is there. Nothing else is there. Everything else is a fleeting, coming and going. Depending upon my own viewpoint, if I shift to the fleeting, then there is a good possibility of all these ups and downs in life. And when my viewpoint is the completeness, then where is the source of anger? Where there can even be friction? Who is having friction with who? Because to have friction means at least two.
Yeah.
How do you practically apply that in life? You become aware that I have to play a role. At a given space and time, this infinite existence is channelized into a certain role in a certain place, in a certain time. And what is the best way to play? A child keeps on building different things in sand, never gets tired. And it brings some improvement next time, some improvement next time, some improvement next time. Like our drawings only, or like our chanting. If you go back to our few weeks back, Bhaja Govindam to now, each one of us is in that respect singing better. And some of us, like Shubhaji, have far exceeded. So that is how it is.
I heard Shubhaji in that down the rabbit hole. The ending was divine.
So you see first all the masala and then it leads to the divine.
Thank you.
Yeah, she sang very well.
It's all Vijayji's encouragement.
It was like suddenly, like the whole everything becomes one kind of like divineness. The story ending and then like you starting that. It sounded very well actually. Yeah.
Yeah. Deepaji, what would you
Yes.
like to share?
Regarding this verse, isn't it, sir?
Either on the verse or on the discussion that happened, anything.
In everyone is but one Vishnu or God, and we have to leave off the ignorance and come back to ourself. There's no use getting angry with anyone or being impatient. And be able to see the self in all the things.
What does it mean to you as a practical tool?
In the beginning, when I used to think, how can I see the self in all the things? I used to feel it's no. I mean, in everything, how can we see ourselves? But now, when I think of this, suppose if I am having something here, and I'm seeing that what I see is in my mind, and it is only me who is making all sorts of assumptions about the thing that is there in front of me. So I am there in even that thing. This is how I can see the self in all the things.
Excellent. Is only you have been seeing.
Yes, sir.
And while seeing, when the mind comes up with its own thoughts, is when the distance or I and other gets created.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, at an understanding level, then at a day-to-day living level, this has to stabilize.
Yeah. Generally, when dealing with the things or anyone in life, I'll not get this idea in my mind. But when I deeply think about it, I feel, yeah, it's true.
Great. Shilpaji, what would you like to say?
So with regards to the discussion that we had, I had this question with anger relating to injustice. And that's when you said that you need to be a warrior also at times. So sometimes you would require to have anger, right? I mean, suppose, for example, I'm going for a walk and I see, some 8 to 9 year old kids are beating up a younger child. That would anger me, and that anger is justified, right?
So that is not what is said. What I said is, you need to have the kshatriyatva. See, it's like Rama fought, not in anger.
Yes. Yeah.
You can fight peacefully also. In fact, whatever you're doing, only when you do it peacefully can you bring out the best.
Yeah.
So kshatriyatva is not anger. That is not what is being said.
Okay. Okay.
So you see some injustice, and the wanting to protect, that feeling of protection, that something is not correct there, and I need to protect this child who is getting beaten up. That is your kshatriyatva. And you acting on it, and you stepping in and separating the children, and then looking at how to console this child being beaten up, and how to help the children who are beating, to see they're beating maybe because they have some misunderstanding, whatever, without knowing the situation.
Yes, sir.
Just because somebody is beating somebody up doesn't necessarily mean that it is wrong.
Okay, sir.
Krishna was cutting the head of Shishupala. If somebody was seeing for the first time that happening, oh, Krishna is God and Shishupala is cutting the head. There is a background.
Yes.
100 times, right?
Yes, sir.
So like that, therefore, only if I'm peaceful can I see how to bring out the best from both the sides who are fighting with each other.
Okay, sir. Okay. So it's just that when you are interacting in the transactional world, there are so many emotions that you go through. So it is, yes, to have a sthirta, a balance is important. So
the important question. Yeah, go ahead, please. You ask.
Yeah, I had another question. Sthirta and samabhava are the same?
Okay, so let's examine that. Sthirata means stability.
Yes, sir.
Samabhava means a equanimous mind. When can you have sthirata? So, for example, when can you walk steady? When you have not had something like alcohol or something else, where your body is able to balance. Similarly, when can you be balanced? Meaning what? Internally. We're not talking about external appearance.
Yes, sir.
See, external balance, for example, sthirata or samabhava doesn't mean that you're always smiling, you're always showing one kind of a facial expression. That makes you very monotone.
Okay.
Internally, that is more important. And if that naturally comes up in your external appearance, great. That is what is needed. However, if the situation demands, as an extreme example, you go to a place where somebody has died, there you cannot be cracking jokes and laughing. Though internally, you know that this is also another situation. So therefore, what role you play, what mask you put is not being spoken here. How are you internally?
Okay.
And externally, you need to bring out whatever the relevant appearance.
Yes, sir.
Anything else you want to say or ask on this?
No, sir. No, sir.
So again here, like Saravamanji said, how do you generally handle situations which cause, say, a sense of difference or anger or irritation? Does it happen or it doesn't happen? What is your personal viewpoint on this?
So initially, if something happens, which doesn't, is not as per me or doesn't match with my certain set of values, it angers me. Initially, that is the first thing that happens. It angers, but then since you have, like you said, there is knowledge of awareness. So I just let it be. I let it go. So I don't dwell on it longer or sit in that and make a house like how I used to do earlier. So things have changed. Just let it slide.
Excellent. So that is the yardstick. So whatever the spiritual knowledge or the atmajnana, is it helping me? One of the simple yardstick is how many such situations I used to get upset with and for how long, and now how many such situations and for how long. If the number of situations that would anger me have reduced and would last for many days has reduced, that itself is a practical value that I have derived out of this knowledge. Okay. So do we contemplate on this, or do we stop here? It is 7:44. I don't know, what is the plan that all of you made. Up to 8 is what generally we used to start from 6:30 to 8:30. So should we assume that up to 8? If so, we have another 15 minutes and we can look at this shloka rather than going into aparoksha anubhuti. Is that okay with all of you?
Yes, sir, delay.
Yeah, I think we can continue with one more. Yeah, shloka.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, then let's listen to Shubhaji on this.
It's all related to what we discussed right now. Like we are at war all the time with our own emotions. So be it with a friend, relative, or enemy, whoever it is, when we reach the status of that equanimity, like we are I am Brahman, rather I am Brahman. So then all these things doesn't make any sense at all. Rather, there will be he says there will be no effort when we are at peace inside and out. We don't need extra effort to bring in that equanimity, is what Shankaracharya ji is trying to put our focus on.
Excellent.
Even this, if you take Mahabharata, at what level? Because we will, how do you say, make no effort to be at war with the enemy?
What effort you make to digest the food and make sure that it goes to all the fingers?
Yeah.
Right? It is quite natural. So when you are in tune with how nature is, meaning what? What you are having a difference with is no other. But right now, the mind is, so stuck with that thought process. What you call as a difference is with who? Who are you having a difference with? The example would be in your dream, so many characters come.
Now, can we take the Mahabharata example, or even Shishupala, right? Keeps making the wrong thing.
So as a role, Krishna had to keep the order of the role. As a policeman, You may have to handcuff your own child and take him to the court.
Yeah. So how do you apply this statement? Like, if you want to attain the status of Vishnu, be equal-minded towards all.
Deep within, realize that you're playing the role. See, where is effort needed? Where is effort needed? Effort is needed when you think you are the doer.
Yeah.
Realize you are not the doer. Realize you are not the one to who the fruits of the action are coming. The doership, because you're claiming the doership, you have a effort and you are at war or at peace with. That is from a karma yoga viewpoint. From a gnana viewpoint, realize that whoever you are dealing with is none other than you only. Like how Deepaji beautifully put it, ultimately, where is this whole drama happening? Where is this whole drama happening? Within me, in my mind. As what? As the conversation between two thoughts. It's all within me. In the playground called my mind.
Okay.
That is the dharma kshetra, that is the kurukshetra. And
Okay.
those two thoughts are none other than me only. Because what is the material for those two thoughts? From where those two thoughts can come, just like in a dream environment, from where the material for all the dream characters come? From you only. You as what? You as that no thing. You as that eternal awareness. So it is that no thing that is creating an illusion, or which is also the substance for this illusion of something. And something becomes concrete because of the very power of that self, Maya Shakti. To create something where there is really nothing. That's why the examples where there is no snake, a snake appears in the rope. Where there is no water, water appears in the desert. So at the deepest level, realize this gnana and be free. There is no other in reality. At a karma level, at an action level, at a transaction level, give up the ownership. Give up of the fruits. Give up the doership of the action. Meaning what? Realize that action is happening through your body and mind. And the fruits of the action are not yours. So like that, the karma has to be performed, having the clarity of the jnana. Looks like there is still some question or some deep thinking is happening.
Yeah, I can understand that there is one Brahman, and but yeah, so this verse is for the, again, the way I can take it is like, hey, know that you are Brahman and there is only Brahman, and At that level, at that plane, there is no enemy, friend, son, and transaction level, all these things happen, and they are not real. So as a role you can be at war with, be friend with son, relatives.
A
Right?
role,
At
a
a role
role
level.
means it is something concrete in a space and time.
Yeah.
So if something is there, there must be, it is in the context of something else. See, you can have one. How you know what is the number I'm showing through my finger? You say it is 1. But how do you know it is 1? Because around it there is no other finger. And you are also able to see that there is something else. So this can be there only because something else is also there. When I see only one picture and get deeply associated with this picture, then I take this role. Playing the role means in an equanimous mind means knowing this role and knowing the context in which the role is being played, and knowing fully well that both of them are me only. It is a partial view that causes the tension. It is this view only that causes the tension. You would have seen many pictures of illusion. I'll show one picture of illusion. In the first picture, what all do you see? So
animals,
upon that,
tree I can see.
Yeah.
Lion, gorilla, a tree.
Can you also see ocean? Can you also see fishes?
Yeah, ocean, fishes jumping.
Can you see birds?
Yeah.
You can see birds. Depending on how you see.
Can you see the background?
Yeah, just hello.
If there was no background, foreground couldn't have been there. So seeing fully means seeing the background and the foreground. Then there is no difference. There cannot be any difference because the foreground is an appearance in the background. It is one of the foreground focus, the attention to only one of the foreground element that makes one get identified with that. Where your attention goes, there the energy flows. Where the energy flows, there the creation happens. So that is the creation. But you, as a watcher of that, you can be aware of the whole. Then you are free. You can zoom in, zoom out, zoom in, zoom out. So realizing that you have the ability to zoom in, zoom out is freedom.
Goes back to one of the questions we had put. Seeing the Brahman while seeing the world.
Because Brahman is not an object to be seen.
Object to see. Yeah.
And how are you seeing, actually, how are you seeing your own true self? Nothing but the world. World is you. World is you. Because it is getting projected through what you call as your mind. Through your mind, world is getting projected. And each form is you. The infinite Brahman's finite appearance is the world. So there is no duality, but there is an appearance of duality. Why? Because the mind gives attention to some aspect of the change. When the mind is deeply paying attention to only some aspect of the whole, then there is a sense of duality. Which
but
in reality
mind is to either to go towards something or move away from something.
Sorry, what is the point you're making?
No, related to the comment you said, the see like getting attracted or seeing something, but that's the nature of the mind or due to the vasanas. Like if I am aware of animals, I see the animals there.
Yes.
What I am aware of, what it has left in the mind, that makes it to get attracted towards that form.
Yeah. So that is why vasana kshayave moksha, DVG says. Vasana kshayave moksha. You are already in moksha, but to get established in that feeling. So there is a knowledge and feeling. You know that is the truth, but you may say, but that is not the feeling in my day-to-day transaction.
Yeah.
So that's why it's beautiful that realization has to lead towards the sense of completion or the completeness, and that is the journey where vasana kshaya has to happen. Bandha vasanas have to drop. And how do bandha vasanas drop? Bandha vasanas drop through karma yoga, through seva, satsanga, sadguru. So that process is the one which leads towards bandha vasanas to drop. Because depending upon the tightness of them, depending upon there's a depth and tightness, no? But already the lubricant has come in. So it will help you. So there is but no other way for you to be that. So that's why, when you've come to Sadguru, you are liberated. Have no doubt, you are liberated. The sense of time is also going to drop. Deepaji, what would you like to share on this shloka? So you see this also. see how in a very beautiful way English has this me, which when you kind of peel off is nothing but we. It's my world is my own reflection. Something magical about this, me and we. It's like the world is a reflection, and I am the source of the reflection. Urdhvamulam adashakam.
But what are you trying to show with the tree? A reflection of tree? Yeah. There's tree and reflection of tree.
So see, we look at the world, right? The reflection is like the world.
Okay.
And when you look at the world, look at the tree, how it appears. So many leaves, it is so many, right? But what is that the root? When we are interacting with the world, we are seeing the upside down image of the world. So infiniteness, variety, because we are looking at the tree like this. But what is the root? In the case of the world, the root, the Brahman, is not a seeable thing, because the seer, the one who is seeing this world, is you. And what you are seeing is not separate from you. Meaning the world is not something else apart from you. So only in that realization can there be true answer found for this particular question. It is not a mental attitude that I need to develop. It is not a mental attitude. Oh, let me be love your neighbor. It's not like a mental attitude. I hate my neighbor, but Jesus Christ has said so, I will love my neighbor. That will not work. That will lead to still friction. It is in the deepest clarity that in reality, world is you. Only through that realization of that jnana can there be then total dissemination of ignorance. And the key is what Deepaji said. What are you seeing? Where are you seeing? Who's seeing? You've always seen everything within you. Who are you, the seer? You have liked something, your friend, and after some incident, the same friend might have become your enemy. So then the feeling you had towards your friend, I can give my life to my friend before that incident. And after the incident, I want to take his life. Deepaji, is there something that you would like to share on this shloka?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Like in Mahabharata, Krishna asked Arjuna to be equal-minded towards all the things. And he don't have to make any effort to be at war with his cousins and also to be detached from everyone, saying that there shouldn't be any attachment towards even the people whom he loves. So he gave this wisdom to him, this knowledge to him, and that is how Arjuna finally realized that he is also the Brahman. He is the a part of God. The consciousness, I mean the part of the Paramatma. This verse also says that, sir. If we want to attain the status of Vishnu, then we'll have to be equal-minded towards all things. We don't have to make any effort to be at war with or be in league with anyone. That's it.
Thank you, Deepaji. Shilpaji?
Yes, sir. As per what I feel is, rather than wasting your time and efforts to, to win or to fight or if there is anger, it would be better to see yourself in everyone and give up the feeling of duality completely. So that's all.
Very nice. All right. So, shall we conclude, or is there something else that anybody has to say? Okay.
So,
yeah, Shilpaji.
So, this feeling of being complete, of course, that completeness that we talk about is about self-realization. But for us at a basic level where we are starting off, we are a work in progress towards spirituality. So completeness would mean to have a equanimity of in all possible ways, even as far as our emotions are concerned. Would that be a step towards completeness?
Okay. See, when we say completeness, and if, let's say, it is some work that leads to completeness, then in the first place, it couldn't have been complete. And anything that is made to be complete can continue to be incomplete. To take an example, if let's say, you can make water become something else, and then you say, now I can make it into water, it means that water is something that is not the pure substance. It is something that can be modified. So first of all, therefore, realize that you are complete.
Okay. Yes.
Trying to make ice is if ice can be compared to be complete, then like you have to do something to the water has to become ice, and what becomes ice can again become water if
Become water. Yes.
Right. So, but if you are water itself, then like you don't have to become something.
So with my sense of that I am complete, I can have equanimity for all the emotions or whatever I feel throughout the day, or how I work in
Correct.
the transactional world.
So those emotions are arising.
Rules.
Because of various kinds of vasanas. See, if let's say, again, I'm not talking about you, I'm just saying an example. Let's assume somebody is a non-vegetarian food eater. The moment they see, say, maybe meat, their mouth may salivate. Whereas a completely vegetarian person may say, "Yo, che," may walk away. Either of the response is because of the deeply held vasanas, right? So what may appear as food for one may appear as something to cringe about to the other. Why it is? What is the difference? The scene is the same, but what is the difference? The vasanas. What is held in the mind?
Okay.
So it is your vasanas that make you feel or make you think in certain way, right?
Yes.
So you have to look at, therefore, realizing yourself means you are separating yourself from all the things that are coming and going. You're learning to see, you're seeing that whatever that is coming and going cannot be you. So now, as that unchanging reality, now all these vasanas will come and go. But no more vasanas drive you.
Yes.
You are this, and these vasanas are coming and going like clouds. And as they're coming and going, you have to see what is the most practical way to respond to those, depending upon the situation.
Yes.
Some vasanas, you can let it drop. Some vasanas, you have to modify. So that is why the definition of moksha, freedom, means what? One of the definition of moksha is vasana kshayave moksha. One of the way of looking at moksha. Moksha means what? Not just a understanding that I am Brahman, but am I able to live that in my day-to-day life? When can I live it in my day-to-day life?
Yes.
Is when the vasana kshaya, when the vasanas, the bandha vasanas have dropped.
Okay.
No more they're binding me.
Yes.
And more, my natural self, which is joy, peace, will naturally, childlike curiosity. So, there is a Daivasura Sampad Vibhaga Yoga in Bhagavad Gita. The Daivi qualities, the Sthita Prajna qualities, they will start shining more and more.
Okay.
So you can read that. Daiva Asura Vibhaga Yoga.
Okay.
There Shri Krishna has given us clarity about what are Daivi qualities, what are Asura qualities. So you can, in a way, it is a litmus test for each one of us. You can simply make a list of all these and see which of the Daivi qualities you need to work on. So focus on like that. I will share one beautiful discussion that happened in the Gita for Children group on Shat Sampati. Children were given, okay, these are the Shat Sampatis. Now, how do you see these Shat Sampatis within you? Oh, you'll be amazed at the kind of the application they brought. One child said, one of my relative gave some present gift to both me and my cousin. And initially, I wanted that other white color nail polish, but I got a black, some other color nail polish. I got very upset. But then I thought, okay, gift is a gift. At least I'm happy that I received a gift. And it so happened after 3 days that I had to go to a party and my dress and my nail polish were matching. And I was amazed at what a coincidence. Then I was very thankful. So, Shat Sampati, and the children were, oh my God, so honest. I think I lack Dhamma. I need to work on Dhamma. And they gave examples. oh, that, if I and you can be like that while evaluating, I'll share that with all of you.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
Yeah.
Does that bring clarity, Shilpaji?
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. So clarity, and that's why Prabhuji keeps saying clarity and purity. Clarity means through jnana, you become aware. You're now clear. And in fact, that itself is enough. However, that has to appear in the action, in the day-to-day world. And while you're transacting with the day-to-day world, some vasanas. And among all the vasanas, the bandha vasanas, there are some vasanas which kind of, are deep-rooted and bind you in that particular situation. Those have to become feeble. And they become feeble by karma yoga, by getting involved with service. That's the only way.
Okay.
So therefore, seva, sadguru, satsanga. That is the only key. All right. So then, in our next session, we'll begin with 26. Right? Yeah. So shall we end with contemplation?
Yes.
Yeah. Hari Om.